Hello, hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is where you are. I am John Harder. My website is cryptotbc.com, where you can go and check out much information about the things that I will be talking about on this live stream. All right, so tonight we want to talk about, or I want to talk about, how do we, how can we, should I say, get local business back strong in local communities? All right. Now, why is it not? What has weakened it? Why has it fallen apart? Or what are those? What's behind all of this stuff? Now, I I know for many years I was completely confused. I knew that there's something drastically wrong with the way this world is operating, but I had no idea where to even look to begin to find out and put things together. But a number of years ago, I began studying, and there were some specific reasons why I did so. I've mentioned them several times in on my videos, and I'm not going to go into that today. But I had a reason why I needed to go into studying about something that was very, very important to me at the time. And it led me down a path that I would have never guessed I was going, that I was ever going to go. For one, I always was of the opinion that studying is not something humans need to ever spend their time doing. Uh, because, I mean, after all, uh, where I grew up, we didn't look at uh, education as anything important. And I guess as far as that goes, the education that's being taught in any schools isn't important. None of that, I would say, is of any importance to anyone ever, uh, except for maybe math. I suppose math can be very important sometimes, but certainly the disinformation that is being taught is not important to anyone. And the knowledge that people need to know as to how does the monetary system work, who's behind it, who's running the banks, how does that all work, how's, why are there boom bust cycles, what's behind all of that? Well, none of that is being taught in any school. You can go right to a PhD degree and you will not find any of that, and there is a very specific reason for it. The thugs behind it, they have been secretly, all of these years, pulling the strings, creating a system where the money from the just about the entire world flows to them, and all they can think of doing is bring destruction and misery upon humanity. That's their only game. Folks, it's time we turn the table. It's time we turn the table. It's now just over 2 years ago when a weapon, a silent weapon of, how should I say, what's it called? What's it called when you protest? Okay, a silent weapon of mass protest was created uh, just over 2 years ago. Now, and that was TBC. Now, of course, we all know, and unfortunately, way too many people know that TBC did have some trouble. There was some technical problems a year ago, and it's all been fixed. But now, now we need to look at what is happening in the world. Where does all this come from? The information is available on TBC on the blog dot thebillioncoin.info is much information on the things that I spoke about. Of course, there is a lot of information also available in other sources, but this blog does have, it is loaded with information, because if we wanna look at TBC as just another cryptocurrency, uh, we've missed the point. We don't see it at all. Oh, somebody is joining me. Thank you very much, Madlock, for joining me here. Okay, so the people that have been working in the shadows, pulling the strings, using armies, using governments to control us, and bringing, squeezing tighter and tighter and tighter, as it were. Uh, it has come to a point where we must wake up, and I believe that we are at a point where we need to lay aside our differences, and start unitedly working to bring about the one goal that we all want, and that is peace and prosperity in the world. I just don't believe that there is a human being that does not want that, except for maybe the cabal, or those who have been creating havoc. And mind you, who knows? There may be people that just don't know what peace is, or I don't know. I don't know if. But for me, and the people I know, yes, we would enjoy peace and prosperity. That would just be a wonderful thing. If we could thrive, if we could live in peace and harmony and truly enjoy life, and not having to worry about what is, how am I gonna pay the rent next month, or is there going to be enough money, or am I going to be able to you know be am I going to be able to hang on to my job, or is my job going to be secure, or is the company all of a sudden going to be sold out, or all of these kind of things. And people, we really worry about those kind of things, because when we're barely living paycheck to paycheck. Hey, it doesn't need to be that way. It does not need to be that way, because we now have a silent weapon that is very, very mighty to push back. You see, all we have to do is unitedly put one effort forward to stop using the monetary system of the banks and use TBC. Now we have a long ways to go to have this happen, but I believe that we can do it quick. I believe we can and do it in a pretty short period of time. But we need to understand that it's not something where uh, we are just gonna make a quick buck and then we go on to do something else. I believe that is often how programs are being viewed at and used, especially on the internet. And very often there have been programs like that where people did make, quickly made some money, but then the program would disappear. But TBC is not a program. TBC is money. And it's not just an empty currency that is even debt based. No, no, no. It is money. You first of all, you begin with having uh already money in it when you get your wallet. And then of course with purchasing just $100 worth of TBC coin, you qualify for cookies to get one TBC coin, which is already worth, what is it now, 7 million or something like that. It's right near 7 million, I think, that one TBC coin is worth right now. So people, this is huge. This is huge. But I think we need to look deeper than that, because we have an enemy that is ever trying so hard, especially right now, because these people, they have now been exposed. They've been exposed. But that being exposed, that's not that that doesn't is not going to make them give up. They are now, I believe they are actually in fear. I think they are pulling every last string they can right now to try and regain control, because they have somewhat lost of their control that they thought they had. Because there's a number of number of countries now that have booted them out. And I don't know if there are more in the works or not. And since there are some that have, I believe there's more, which would be wonderful. But for those of us who begin to understand what kind of a world we live in, and how it has been rigged behind the scenes, we need to wake up every person that we possibly can, and to show them that we do have a silent, very powerful way of pushing back. I don't know if I want to really just call it pushing back or protesting, but what I like to see it as, that it's a system that will replace or make obsolete the current system, so that when we reach enough people, that businesses and we will make sales. Just again, there was a new video on the blog, on the TBC blog. There was another video where somebody had bought land in Arizona. That's a wonderful thing, because something like that can help us to to well, first of all, to see more and respect more the value that TBC has. You know, we can talk about it being backed by gold and things like that, but it's when you see a valuable deal being made that you kind of go like, wow, that's great. You know, that's what I love seeing. At least that's how I feel about it. And so, but we are so busy. We are so busy, especially those of us who have been going to churches for many years. We have gotten so ingrained in judging others who think a little bit different than we do, or anything. You know, it's the smallest things. Different way of thinking. Put your hat a little different, or put, you know, you wear different boots, or anything. It's we right away we have this you know, this judgmental feeling. um wow, we need to lay that aside. We need to lay that aside. We are, all of us are intelligent human beings, all of us. Some things are easier for other people than for some. I'll say that right now. I know that for some people it's very easy to network and talk to people about things. For other people, that's not quite as easy. Um, for myself, this has been a huge thing for me. It has been a huge struggle for, you know, for years. I have tried different ways of selling things, and it has never worked. I'm really trying to train myself now to do that, to know how to approach, um, how to start, how to get a conversation going, how to get a person to trust me, to, you know, that we can engage, that we find a common ground. You know, there, you know, all of these, I think, are things that we need to have under our belt in order to in order to uh, get people to the point where they trust us and like us enough that they want to do business. You know, that we feel that kindred spirit. You know, that kind of thing. And and I'll be honest. I think for many years I was probably almost the quickest person on earth to judge others about, you know, any difference, anything. And and but I have learned so much over the past few years since I actually began to study and began to find out how misled and how much disinformation we have been feeding on, that I realized, you know, this judging others and this, you know, that anybody that doesn't quite exactly fit into my box, well, then they're out. You know, it's just, it can't be like that. It's certainly not if we're going to accomplish a, you know, a common goal that we all want. We all want peace and prosperity. We all want a life of abundance, and the billion coin can provide all of it. But it's up to us as people to, you know, to unite and to work together and see the value of serving each other in love and respect, as our statement says. I just you know, even since I been involved in billion coin, I have learned so much from the information that we've been given on the blog. It, you know, it has helped me to, there's I've been digging way around and found way more information than we are given on the blog. I read everything that we get, every video, every post. I read it. I want to know, and and also and also I often go and I find other information. Now, what I had found in my searches, one of the things, one of them was the movie called Thrive. It's on YouTube. It is called Thrive. What on earth will it take? Is what you type in. That movie is a real eye opener, not only as to what's been going on, but also the solutions. A lot of solutions. There are a lot of people that are finding solutions to problems. Now, I know that they do not talk about TBC or anything, which would be a huge help for people as part of those solutions. But I think they probably weren't aware of TBC, or and of course we also got to realize that TBC did have some technical problems, and new people, especially people who are easily skeptical, who aren't very convinced already, and then come to a broken system, it's a little hard to have them convinced. But now we do have a system that works good. It works very fast. It is very robust. It is a system that is it's ready. It's ready to be used and to do thousands of transactions per second. And the money is backed by, well, I've often see people saying that it's backed by gold, but I like to say that it's better than that, because it is not actually backed by gold. What it is it is backed with that agreement, and the price of it is pegged to the price of gold, but it is backed by the agreement of us as community members. That is how I see it, and I believe that an agreement between people is stronger than just having it backed by something else. Like when we make a deal with someone else, and we make a deal that where we are both satisfied, we are both happy with that deal, well, that's strong, because no one else needs to be involved in that deal. It's two people, they made an agreement, and they are both satisfied with that agreement. Now, if gold, there could be a mountain of gold, but if there were no people deciding that that gold is worth anything, that there's no value there. There's no value there. The value can only come by people giving it value. That's the only place there is any value on anything, is comes from that, right? And so now, with all of us as TBC holders, we agree by by the agreement of the membership, of the community membership, we agree that that coin, that each kringle is worth 1 grain of gold, and we all agree to that, and we hold to that. That's the strongest money there is. That's the strongest money there is. The way it has been handed to us so far was that the government would decide how much a dollar is worth, right? But then there is income tax gets pulled off of it. Then all kinds of other taxes pulled off of it. And then laws are implemented, all kinds of laws, and these laws, they're backed by guns or machine guns or whatever it is that these laws are all backed by, or prison or whatever, right? But what's that money really worth? Well, let's see now. It's borrowed into existence, and then it is promised to be paid back by the taxpayers. Let me see, what would that really be worth? It's a continual enslavement in worse and worse and worse enslavement system. What would a person really say that that is worth? Uh, I can't. I'm sorry. There is no positive worth on that as far as I'm concerned. First of all, it's debt based, so it's already in the minus, and so now we're trying to get along. We're trying to pay our monthly bills and all this and that. And hey, mind you, if a person does make enough of it and so on, yeah, you can actually be quite well off financially. Not that it helps a lot to have it sitting in the bank, because it'll deplete as the most likely. I invested money actually one year. I invested, I forget what the exact, I think it was $6,000 I invested. All right, I'm starting to invest here. Now I'm gonna start making some money. This is actually quite a number of years ago, and the money had been sitting in the bank for I'm not exactly sure. I think it was 8 years. And when I took it out, the only thing that had happened over that period of time was that now the money was worth a little bit less. Like, prices had gone up over the meantime. That was the only thing that was different than from when I put the money in, because I've just basically broke even. The money hadn't accumulated any interest. Now, having TBC, if you get some today, it will go up in value every day. Now, of course, once it reaches its full price, there is no promise that if you have TBC sitting in your wallet for 10 years, that it's going to be worth anything more. But it is always there. It is not, going down in price, because it holds its value. And there's no fees to pay on it, nothing. It's there for you. Of course, there's many other ways that we can use it and do business and so on to use our money to do more. Now, I see that my time is basically up, but I do really, really, really want to mention one other thing here yet. I mentioned this, I think, in almost every video, and I think I'm a little bit obsessed with it. But I believe, we've been on this ride for paying for power, to the power that comes to our houses for all these years. And since the 50s, this would have never been necessary, because there was already technology available that was in the 50s, where a small unit that is like 2 feet square, about, or round, 2 feet in diameter and about 8 inches high, a little box like that would easily power a house without using any fuel and without burning any kind of gas or any expense. You hook your house up to it, it will generate the power for your house, and there you go. There's no maintenance on it. I don't believe this things ever stop. They will just produce it, and you can use it. Basically, that's it. End of story. You can, and that is how efficient. That's it's point zero, 0 point. Yeah, 0 point energy is what they call it, because it does not cost anything to as it runs. It has no bearings. It has nothing like that. It's an amazing. If you don't know if what I'm talking about, in my links under this video, there is I have a few websites. I have a couple of websites there. The one is called johnharder.com, and you click on the link called energy, and is it energy? No, not energy. It is technology. On the link technology, you'll and you go on the information on that page, and you'll find what I'm talking about. I believe that is amazing technology, and as many people as what don't have water, they don't, that can't pay for power and so on like that. We need to provide free energy for people, and I believe as TBCians, we will do this in a very big way. And I actually want to connect with some people to get moving on this, because these things are they are quite complex to be developed. Now there are people already working on them, and but what we need is, we need more people to collaborate and get a move on it on a much larger scale. So I'm looking to connect with people for this project, because I believe that is one of the ways, with that with that NTBC, that we can really go a long way and move fast with all of this. Anyhow, so TBC is the most powerful silent protest that we can possibly use, I believe, to combat and actually overcome with ease and replace the monetary system that has enslaved us, and we can be free. That is a wonderful thing. And with that said, I want to thank you very much, Madlock, for hanging out with me. I appreciate it, and I hope you found something tonight that you were looking for, or something that helps you in some way. And I'd be happy to have you again sometime. I usually have other guests, but I guess they must have been busy today or whatever. So anyways, have a wonderful night, and we'll see you again sometime. Peace.